All right, so this is Reese's Treehouse. It's one of the first wheelchair accessible tree houses built. I believe it's the first one built in Texas. And it's just a magical, fun place that allows kids of all abilities to explore in a treehouse. But can you imagine being in a wheelchair, and the thought of going in a treehouse is just something that's not, you're not going to do it. And so wheeling up on this walkway, you don't realize it until you get up to here and you're 20 feet off the ground. The treehouse is built into an amazing live oak tree, and it's just a magical, fun place for all kids to really get to experience the magic of a treehouse. This is named Reese's Treehouse is named in honor of Reese Gray. Reese was here for just a short time, born with a congenital heart condition, and she inspired a lot of people, and Reese's memory lives on in this special treehouse. Come on in. So the treehouse was constructed, took 3 months. It was built by a group from Vermont, and they lived here. They engineered it to fit specifically around this beautiful live oak tree that has grown throughout it. It was constructed in 2004, so it's 15 years old. It's strong and sturdy. Thousands of children have spent the night in here. We do our bird program in here. We play games, and we just have fun. Very, very magical place.
Jen, it's really great for you to meet with me today. I'm speaking here with Jenn Hartner, who's the Executive Director of the Candlelight Ranch. As always, my name is Ryan Morris, Realtor at Large, in the continuing series of Community Connection, where I connect people who are doing really great things out in the Austin area with the Austin community and raise awareness about what they're doing. So I'm really glad that you made some time for me today. So why don't you tell us a little bit about, I know we've talked a little about where we are, but just if you'll rehash just a little bit about where we're sitting right now.
Sure, well thanks for making the drive out to Candlelight Ranch today. For those of y'all who don't know, we're located between Marble Falls and Lago Vista off 1431. Like at the top end of Travis County.
Okay.
So we are still, even though we're out in the hill country, we're still in Travis County.
Okay.
Candlelight Ranch has been around today. This is our 20th anniversary, and we provide nature-based educational programs for children and families of all abilities and needs, and we help them learn, explore, and heal. So what that means to me is we provide fun, activity, and healing through nature.
Yeah. Well, I saw a lot of the things coming up here, all kind of community centers and pavilions and gardens and walking, zip line as well.
Yep. We have 4 core programs here. In the summer, we're working primarily through our Children in Nature program, where we partner with other nonprofits and schools. We serve an 8-county region, but primarily most of the kids and families we serve come from Austin, Travis County, Williamson County, or Burnett County. And we serve about 1,850 children and families each year.
Wow.
And what makes us so unique is that we work with the nonprofits and schools to customize their visits here. So every day and every group is different. One day we could be working with children with autism. The next day we could be working with children in foster care. We could be working with children who are at risk of dropping out of school or low income. And then we could be working with children who are blind or visually impaired. So every day is different because of the groups that we serve are different and always changing. And that's what keeps us unique and fresh. But, we do that through a variety of activities. So like you mentioned, our zip lines, our garden, hiking. We're on Lake Travis, so canoeing, kayaking, fishing.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, just driving up here, what struck me is the natural beauty that you have here, and it's just a very peaceful, calm space, very, very, very unique and beautiful. Now, would you speak a little bit more about, you said that you partner with other nonprofits, so is that where you get the vast majority of the interaction with the children as they're coming from, they're being served by other nonprofits,
Yeah.
and they bring them here. Is that how it works?
Yeah, that's correct. Traditionally, we've been very, very small. So when I started here 10 years ago, I was the only full-time employee.
Okay.
So our model of always partnering has kind of been a core of who we are. We have great relationships with the nonprofits that we do work with and serve. Currently, we're partnering with about 35 schools and nonprofits.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Okay.
Yeah,
That's a lot of partnerships.
Yeah, today we have a group from Central Texas Tennis Association and River City Youth Foundation. Both are based in Austin. And they're coming to us from Camp Glimmer, which is a relationship that we've had for, I think, 7 or 8 years with the Glimmer of Hope Foundation. And we provide a meaningful summer camp experience for children who otherwise wouldn't have a summer camp experience.
Right.
So many kids, this is something that I know now that I'm a mom, it's really expensive to send your kid to camp.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
really expensive. And so if you have to work and you're barely making ends meet regularly while your kid's in school, it's not within your reach to send your kid to a $200 a week or more summer camp program.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not going to happen.
Right.
And so what Camp Glimmer is, with Glimmer of Hope Foundation, Camp Glimmer helps provide some type of summer camp opportunities for kids whose families generally can't afford it. So we've been doing that camp for out here full time. I think this is our 5th summer full time, but we've had a relationship with them for a while.
Right.
And it's just awesome to have kids. Primarily, most of these kids are from East Austin, or East Travis County, Hayes, or Bastrop area.
Right.
Most of them have never seen the lake.
Yeah.
You know, outdoors should be for everybody, and we're lucky to be able to be creating that here.
Right. Well, and on that, do you find that there are kids that have some challenges adjusting to being in nature, and usually what's the culture? How long does the culture shock usually last?
It depends. First of all, we don't have air conditioning here, so
Right.
the heat is an element that most of us aren't accustomed to.
Yeah.
So it's hot.
Right.
Summer in Texas. So getting kids outdoors all day is sometimes a challenge.
Sure.
And then we don't use screens here. And so once kids adjust to, hey, we can still have fun, it's hot, but let's go in the shade. We have lots of activities to keep kids cool. Everything here has shade around it and can engage them in a way where they're not looking at their screen.
Right.
You see them open up and blossom to this opportunity of, wow, it really is fun to get outdoors and play or talk to my friends and interact. And by the end of the day, they don't realize they haven't had their screens all day.
They're
awesome.
Tired,
but they've had fun.
That's awesome. That's funny. When you said screens, initially I thought, oh, you don't have screen doors, or what do you?
Yeah,
oh, you mean
like screens.
Technological screens?
Yeah.
Yes, I forget that's the off-used, especially parental generic term for just being on the screen. Yeah, and I think that's an exciting policy. Just so because it's rare. It's rare for me to be able to take a little screen break. So it's pretty cool to give these kids this opportunity.
And we forget, too, that we can connect without being on our screens. And so there's a whole methodology of research right now talking about nature deficit disorder.
Yes.
Like kids and adults are just not going outdoors.
Right.
And the reduction in stress with just even a 20-minute time outdoors, there's noticeable reduction in stress.
Right.
Increase in happiness. And we see that here.
Isn't that, I think, Last Child Left in the Woods?
Correct.
Is that the book you're kind of referring to that spoke a lot about that? So, do you have programs year round, or is it a specific time period?
We do. So our Children in Nature program runs almost year round. We close in December and in August. So when school's going back and it's 105 degrees, we let the ranch rest.
Give it a break.
It gets a break. It works really hard in the summer. We're booked 7 days a week for the entire summer. So we take August off and December and part of January off.
Okay.
Just everything needs to rest and regenerate here. And then, so Children in Nature goes through the year, and then we do military family days. We do 10 of those a year. We know that active duty and veteran families need safe and fun time together in nature to help with stress reduction, communication, teamwork, and just reconnecting.
Yeah.
And then we also do quarterly special family days. So children who, for all abilities, a lot of times we're serving just one child in that family unit. And what's most powerful is when a whole family can come out and get to experience the ranch. Oftentimes you hear parents say, I had no idea that my child would go on a zip line.
Right.
Or you see magical transformations happen where the parents are like, my kids can do more than I thought they could. Or you just let them have fun.
Yeah.
And then our final program that we do during the summer is called Camp Dreamcatcher. That program is specifically for children who are survivors of trauma. Most of the kids we've served through that program, we just started, this is our 5th summer, have been adopted from foster care.
Okay.
And we've been working with most of those kids for the entire 5 years.
Wow.
Yep. And so Candlelight Ranch is really their safe place.
Yeah.
You know, kids with behavior issues or trauma normally can't go to a regular camp. They'll get kicked out for behavior or emotional outbursts.
Right.
And we don't kick people out here.
Right. That is very unique. And as far as staff, how many you don't?
How many
You were the ones now. How many permanent staff do you have?
So we're up to 6.
Oh wow.
Full time.
Okay.
And 1 or 2 part time, depending on the season, and then we have interns.
Okay.
And then a bunch of volunteers.
Okay.
We've always been very volunteer driven, and we couldn't have served the way we've served without our volunteers.
Right.
Very important.
Right. And so, while we're on to volunteer, maybe you could talk about if people are interested in getting involved, some of the ways they can.
Sure. If people are interested in volunteering, there's many ways, both hands-on at the ranch and then in Austin.
Okay.
So at the ranch, we offer opportunities for zipline training. That's like one of the best ways to become a volunteer is to go through our zipline training, and then you can facilitate the zip lines. We do hands-on with horses. We always need people to help with arts and crafts, and running, fishing, kayaking at the lake.
Okay.
Also, if people are interested in maybe not working with kids, but they want to come out here and help work the property, we're on a 40-acre ranch. There's a lot of work in terms of maintenance to be done out here. So we'll work with corporate work groups. They'll come out often and do a team day here where they'll volunteer for half the day and then maybe do a team building in the afternoon.
Okay.
Which is awesome.
Right. That's good. Corporations, hear that?
We love corporations. It's good to get everybody out of the office.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just get out here and work. So, and then the final way to do that, to get involved, and then you can sit on a committee in town. So we have fundraisers. Our 20th anniversary Light a Path is coming up on October 23rd.
October 23rd, okay.
Yeah, so we have a committee going for that, if people want to help with the fundraisers, or we have our program committee, our finance, our governance, and then our board and advisory council. So most of the folks that serve on committee or board and advisory council come from the Austin area, and most of our meetings happen in Austin. And then we have hands-on stuff to be done here at the ranch.
Right. And so tell me a little bit about October 23rd. Is that something that people can get involved in?
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah, so all of our information on how to volunteer is on the website.
Okay.
If you go to candlelightranch.org, there's a tab that says volunteer. You can click on there and it'll list out how you can get involved. Or you can email me at Jenn, Jenn, at candlelightranch.org.
Great.
But we're always looking for volunteers. You know, and our volunteers are like keystone to making it successful out here. On any level that people can serve, we can do it.
And and for those, people who are not maybe used to volunteering or maybe a little, am I going to get involved and then they're just going to keep calling me and bringing me in. What's a good way for people to what's a good baby step to get into volunteering? Is there something where people can just kind of test the waters and be like, is this for me?
Yeah, so Madison Hill, she's our program coordinator, and she helps coordinate our volunteers.
Okay.
And the best way is just to work with Madison to figure out, hey, do you want to be a long-term volunteer, or do you want to just come out once and see if this is for you?
Right.
And we have people that do both things.
Great.
We also work with Young Men's Service League and National Charity League. Both of those have branches in Austin. And so there'll be mother-son teams and mother-daughter teams that come out and volunteer with us regularly. But, you know, those could be tasks from like helping cook lunch for the military families. For summer, volunteers help give out shoes and shirts to all the kids that come to camp. It could be helping with snacks, weeding the garden. There's just a lot of work
stuff.
that needs to get
40
done
acres.
Here. There's a lot.
Yeah. UT size.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah.
It's big, and I'm really good at giving people things to do.
Okay, which is like that is your part. That's probably a large part of your job description is give people things to do. I imagine as an executive director.
Yeah.
So what, if I could just get a little bit, you know, what brought you to Candlelight Ranch?
Yeah, so in 2009, I started facilitating camps here with a partner nonprofit, and I fell in love. Like, this place is magical. You can watch kids just de-stress, learn, transform, and you're providing them in a space and an environment to do those things.
Right.
Okay, and so I just fell in love. And Harriet, Kirsch Posen was the executive director at that time.
Oh, okay.
And so her and I just had a great relationship, and the program director position opened, and they approached me and asked if I wanted to come into the program director position here.
Okay.
So it happened very fluidly. I was already really aware of what was going on out here. I knew the property, I knew the people, and I knew the power of transformation that could happen here.
Yeah.
And so, man, I can't believe it's been 10 years, but it's been 10 years. So, and I've worn almost every hat in the book.
Sure.
So, program director, and then my husband got a expat assignment in Malaysia. So I left for 4 years.
Okay.
And went overseas, but I stayed on as a volunteer, still managing the website and helping with other tasks as I was overseas.
Really, from Malaysia?
Yeah. They couldn't get rid of me. And so then we came back in 2015, and I had 2 children, and I got a phone call that was like, hey, Jen, the volunteer coordinator position's open. Do you want to come back to work part-time? It's like, sure, sounds like a great idea with a 3-year-old and a 7-month-old. Sure, let's do it. So I came back part-time, and then the executive director at that time left, and so the board president called me and was like, Jen, the board wants to know if you would like to be the executive director, which is what I went to grad school for.
Oh, wow.
It's always been a passion of mine to help build a nonprofit's capacity, and I love Candlelight Ranch, so here I am.
It's kind of a no-brainer.
Here I am, yeah, almost 3 years into the role.
Wow.
And, you know, we've grown exponentially in that time. We're really focused on our strategic plan of putting in pillars of sustainability and growth. You know, my mission here is to make sure Candlelight Ranch lasts forever.
Right.
And we can serve generations of future Texans for forever.
Wow.
And that's
how do you do something like that? I mean, it sounds like, I know it's probably a large discourse we don't have time for, but are there some pillars of how that works?
You know, it's a nonprofit, so you got to have money.
Yeah.
And so I went to work fundraising because I knew that a small staff does not make sustainability. If somebody leaves when you're very small, it's really hard to make sure you're always serving kids and families.
Right.
So I wanted to grow our budget so that I could add more staff so that we could always serve kids. So if somebody left, and because I'd been through this before here, having left as the program director, it took a while to recover and find the right person for that role. And we have to make sure that we can always serve kids.
Right.
So you do that by making sure you have enough staff, so when somebody leaves, there's somebody to fill in that role.
You're not really limping along, you know, trying to have this thing going with not enough staff people. Yeah.
And, you know, I asked my board to take a risk. I'm like, listen, we need to add a couple more staff positions, and this is the reason why. And they were like, okay, go do it. So I raised the money, we added the staff, and it has kind of been the thing that has just set us on the path of continued growth. Because we have more staff, we can add and look at more programs, at serving more deeply, and making a larger impact in the community that we couldn't do when we just had one person in that role. You know, and summer's our busiest time out here, and to watch the staff, we have enough people now. And that is critical to serving children and families for the long term.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
It's really good. It kind of feels like I'm a leaf in a stream, and the bank started out really narrow, so kind of cruising along, and then all of a sudden the banks got narrower, and that leaf started just going. And, you know, that's what I tell my staff. The train's left the station. Everybody enjoy the ride. Like, we can't slow it down now.
You're not going to slow it down now.
It's going.
Right.
That feels really good to know that we're making it so that our programs are really strong. We have enough internal capacity to be able to serve.
One final question. What do you think that, let's say, what's one thing that people probably don't know about Candlelight Ranch but should?
I mean, okay, first, it's our 20th anniversary. This is a big deal. Like, we have been around for 20 years, and it's been through passion and love of everybody involved who has gotten us this far. And there are thousands of people who have come out, just maybe you've come out once, or maybe you're a guiding light and you've been helping light our path for the last 20 years. Everybody on that path has helped serve the over 10,000 children that we've served here. And, you know, we're small, but we are mighty, and we're helping heal hearts and create joy out here. And it's so much fun.
Awesome.
So, you know, we're just grateful to serve the community.
Cool. Well, that's great, Jen. I'm so glad you took this time to sit down with me.
Thanks
this is
for
really
coming.
exciting. Yeah.
This is our new high ropes climbing tower.
Oh.
And it just went in. We funded it last year, and this is our first summer using it. It's got an incline, a flat rock wall, an inclined rock wall, a vertical playpen, and an element called Jacob's Ladder.
Wow.
So it brings the challenge and the fun.
That is quite a structure.
It's 45 feet. It's huge.